how much money can you make from 2D games? Because this graphics really suck. Yo, what the f? How this shitty graphics earn this much? After a lot of research, I found the secrets to make the perfect 2D game in a short time. By following this blueprint, you will be able to make money as much as they did. So why and how did they make it? We all know that gamers love 3D games more than 2D, right? Wrong. I was shocked that 2D games have their own cult and loyal gamers. I discovered something I was not aware of. 2D game communities are really huge, and this is due to multiple reasons, starting with lower specs needed to play by gamers, and it's easier to make than 3D games, meaning low entry barrier for both gamers and devs. I know that it means it's saturated and hard to compete, but it also means that there is a high demand for such games, and this might sound completely wrong, but the devil in the details. We are barely scratching the surface, and what goes next is the important part, so bear with me. Do you know that big companies try to make you feel a certain way to buy their product? Stay with me because all this will make sense. Apple, Gucci and other companies try to aim for premium, safety and other feeling because at the end of the day they know that their product alone is no near to what they are charging, and the same goes for everything, including games. I'm talking about selling emotions. Now before you yell at me in the comments, I know that this point is shared between 2D and 3D games, but due to the point we addressed before and the fact that in the past 2D games were dominating the field, nowadays when we play specific 2D games we feel nostalgic because of the feelings we get that are similar to old games we used to play, meaning if we aim for a specific art style like pixel art or something like Doom, we will hit these feelings, but it feels like we are missing something. We still don't know how to make such a game in a short time, or the secret that devs use. Well, we are close to the full answer and you need to understand the following before moving on. If you are just starting game dev, the truth that it's hard, really hard. And I am thinking of making a video on this later, but what I need you to know from this that it's one of many reasons why it is okay to use assets. They were made to be used in the first place, and most of the games does that. In fact, you can't make a game in a short time without using assets. But there is a trick here. You have to understand how to use them to be able to tweak it a bit. It's important to add your touch if it relates to visuals, so it feels original and can't be copied. But there are some exceptions, and it's up to you to make the final call. But how does that relate to the secret of making a $2D million game? Well, my friend, it's really simple. The next point is the one that connects everything together. Notice that we have talked about how 2D games has a high demand, the emotions that we feel from playing specific games, and last but not least, using assets to fast our process. Now let me ask you a question. Do you know what catch players' attention to play your game? It's not mechanics. Let me explain. If you have to choose between 3 games with the same mechanics, which one will you choose? You get it right? The one point that make you stand out from the crowd is unique art. By delivering a unique feeling from your game by a unique art and story, aka well-made aesthetics with well-functioned mechanics, you will end up winning the big deal. No need to make 10 mechanics with normal art. No one will play it, and we can see this from successful 2D games. So let me say something. In order to achieve high success, you need either to invent a new mechanic or be unique at art. And I think we all know which one is easier. By the way, both is the best option, but it's hard. So the main focus is on the art style, and it can be made in an easier way than 3D games. If you enjoyed or learned anything so far, consider subscribing to make me continue on this mission. Now back to the video. But make sure to test your art if it will hit the market by posting few clips of your game, even if you are just starting, so you don't waste time on an art that no one likes. Now let's answer the question, how to make a $1 million 2D game in a short time. To make such a game, you need to start by using assets that were never been used in famous games. You can choose the assets based on the certain emotions that you want the player to feel. Take the asset, tweak it a bit if you want, and this way your game will stand out from the crowd. Finally, with solid mechanics and a story to establish a connection with the player, that way your game will be irresistible to play among other 2D games. And if you want to take it to the next level, try to add a unique play style. a unique mechanic, or switching players to solve complex puzzles, or the one you see in Genshin. I won't go deep on this, a story with a unique art is probably enough, especially if you are new to game dev. In other words, a good game loop and mechanics for an addicting gameplay made of well-prepared game roadmap, I mean GTD, where you plan on how to make your game with an enough experience to make the game enjoyable, unique in style. You will be able to quit your job and follow your dream. As you can see, all the games are unique and follow what I have just said. But what about graphics? For all devs who are concerned of their graphics, just don't worry anymore. Even if it's not AAA graphics, it still works, like these games. In fact, these graphics has its own genre like low poly, pixeled, retro, and so on. By following what we have talked about, you are very close to win the big deal. But wait, how to actually make money from your game? Because it would be completely useless if you make such a game and earn $0. Well, it's obviously by selling the... Nope. It's true that selling the game will make you some money, but you would be sleeping on gold if you didn't monetize your game. I explained everything in this video, so make sure to watch it. See you soon.